Don't do nothing but tear down black man. Look at it. He's nothing given. You never seen 50 give nobody no flowers, no respect. He just play on people downfall. Diddy, Irv Gotti, Ja Rule. Now Big Meech. You've never seen 50 say nothing positive.
Looks like this beef between 50 Cent and Big Meech just flipped into a whole different level of crazy. Big Meech straight clowned 50, claiming he's going broke all because of this wild back and forth.
Making that G-Unit film studio out there in Louisiana where that cheapest land at. You thought you was going to be able to do it. You thought you was going to be able to get them loans, and it ain't. What's wrong? What's taking so long? 50, who own your masters? Who own your masters? I buy your masters. You better shut up.
Word on the street is that Rick Ross spilled some serious tea. He said 50's out here struggling to fund his new G-Unit studio. And get this, Ross said 50's credit so trashed he can't even get a loan. That's not all.
50 Cent says that 1090 Jake found paperwork that proves Big Meech allegedly snitched. 50 Cent posted, Tammy Cohen, the truth and nothing but the truth coming soon. 1090 Jake tomorrow, got that paperwork, you know the vibe.
Ross even threw in a savage threat. He said if 50 didn't quiet down, he might snatch up his masters. Yeah, Ross really came for the jugular like that. But let's be real, this is 50 Cent we're talking about.
But look, 50. Boy, I see you struggling making that G-Unit film studio out there in Louisiana where that cheapest land at. You thought you was going to be able to do it. You thought you was going to be able to get them loans, and it ain't. What's wrong? What's taking so long? 50, who own your masters? Who own your masters? I buy your masters. You better shut up. I will buy your masters. But look, 50. Boy, I see you struggling making that G-Unit film studio out there in Louisiana where that cheapest land at. You thought you was going to be able to do it. You thought you was going to be able to get them loans, and it ain't. What's wrong? What's taking so long? I know you want to make your mama one of them walking stars thing. Put down there. Your mama live. Her own walking star. We call it renderings. You had the renderings, then you try to go get them loans, and ain't nobody loan you that money. You ain't even built the G-Unit studio yet. That might be why when I stood next to Meech, your knees buckled. Your knees buckled. Put your back against the wall. You're hustling.
You already know he wasn't gonna let Ross and Big Meech get the last laugh. Nah, 50 went off. He started talking about dropping receipts and showing the real broke ones in this fight. He ain't playing. Still, fans been scratching their heads like, what's going on with 50's money for real? Is the man actually about to slide out of that billionaire status? Or is Ross just stirring up drama to get in 50's head? Time to dig into this mess. People in the game say Big Meech and Rick Ross are sitting back, grinning, cause they think they finally humbled 50.
Meech, I ain't like his response. It seemed like he got a genuine kind of love for 50 on his response. But, you know, my response, but nigga, f*** you. Nigga, that's my daddy. Nigga, f*** you. Nigga. Let's go to war.
Yeah, you made my son $5 million. How much you made, though? So you gonna stop? You gonna stop? Yeah, you made, yeah. You ain't just, yeah, come on.
My dad looked out for a lot of people, and 50 ain't do half, like, 50 literally looked out for my dad more than the people that my dad gave millions to.
Word is, 50 can't even keep the lights on in his studio now. They've been out here laughing, saying he gonna come crawling back begging for some mercy once his cash dries up. But hold up, are Big Meech and Ross just dreaming? Cause last we checked, 50 Cent was sitting in billionaire territory. And billionaires don't just fall off over some petty beef talking about who snitched or not. Let's not get it twisted. This could be all smoke and mirrors, or it could be a real fall from the top.
50 Cent says he gave the BMF family $5 million legal dollars, so he does not understand where the money went, how Little Meech blew it before Big Meech got out of jail, but he feels extremely betrayed after that picture got taken between Big Meech and Rick Ross after he got out of jail.
I looked at it like, from that point, maybe 50 should have brung a bag for Meech and maybe a watch or something. Because obviously that's what Ross did or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I had in mind.
If you've been keeping tabs on the wild beef between 50 Cent and Big Meech, then you already know Rick Ross is deep in the mix. This whole drama really blew up after Big Meech teamed up with Ross for a welcome home concert that was supposed to line both their pockets. But then, boom! The show got canceled last minute with no real explanation. Right away, folks started pointing fingers at 50. A bunch of people were convinced he was behind the scenes, trying to block Meech from getting paid, especially since Meech linked with Ross, 50's longtime rival. Of course, 50 denied it, swearing he had nothing to do with it. But the streets weren't buying it. Rick Ross wasn't quiet either. He was throwing straight shots at 50, calling him a hurt hoe, and saying he needed to quit crying just because Meech and Ross were stacking wins without him. That's the level of disrespect that had people talking. And listen, 50's never been shy about hating on this whole Meech-Ross partnership. From the jump, he was out here throwing jabs, calling Meech a rat, and saying Rick Ross would always be Officer Ricky. In 50's eyes, anyone rolling with Ross can't be trusted, period. But this beef didn't stop at petty words, it went way deeper. Turns out, 50 claimed to have receipts proving that Big Meech actually told on some folks to shave time off his sentence. And just when people thought it couldn't get messier, 50 dropped a bombshell. He revealed he's working on a tell-all documentary focused on Tammy CLOWNS, the one person who might know the real story. Now here's where it gets even spicier. Tammy wasn't just some random friend of Big Meech. Word on the street says their bond might have gone deeper. And since Big Meech sold his life rights to her, she's the only one legally allowed to tell his story in books, films, or any kind of documentary. That's major. So yeah, if 50 and Tammy got something cooking, Meech might be in for a real uncomfortable spotlight. So here's where things get messy. According to 50, Big Meech fumbled bad when he let his relationship with Tammy CLOWNS fall apart. 50 claims Tammy ain't staying quiet no more. She's out here spilling every shady detail about Meech's past, and she's not holding anything back. Meanwhile, Rick Ross and Big Meech been acting bold, dancing in 50's face like they winning without him. Ross even went as far as saying he was about to drop his own BMF film and make a fat bag off it. That was straight up retaliation after 50 announced he was axing the BMF series, claiming Meech and his son Lil Meech started acting out and messing with the vibes. Let's not forget, Tammy still owns the rights to Big Meech's life story, so legally she's the only one who can greenlight movies or shows about him. That's why she originally linked up with 50 to produce the Black Mafia Family series, and that show was actually solid. But once Meech got cozy with Ross, 50 felt disrespected and hit back hard. He pulled the plug on the whole series. Savage move. But here's the twist. Meech's own son, Lil Meech, played the lead in that show. So guess what? 50 was paying him the whole time. Lil Meech walked away with over $5 million from that role. But instead of stacking it or flipping it smart, he blew it all. The dude went wild with the cash, exotic whips, iced out chains, designer drip, and all types of flashy nonsense. No savings, no investments, nothing. And here's the sad part. His pops is locked up, broke, and counting down the days to freedom. You'd think Lil Meech would have stashed something away to help his father land on his feet. But nope. He burned through it all like money grew on trees. Lil Meech really must have thought those BMF checks were gonna roll in forever. But when the money stopped flowing, reality hit hard. Even Tony Yayo had to step in and call him out, dragging him for blowing through millions instead of stacking up for the stormy days. So when 50 Cent started really going in on Big Meech, Lil Meech jumped into 50's DMs trying to smooth things over and stand up for his pops. He claimed the whole Rick Ross collab wasn't anything deep, just a quick play to help his dad pay some bills while they waited for the next BMF season to kick in. He wrote, "I can't believe this, man. You act as if I'm your enemy. I've only showed you love and loyalty. I'm human. I go through my own ish, but I never switched up on you. F Ross. But he gave my dad some bread so he can afford to pay his bills until our next season starts. This internet ish is throwing me off, man. You know me in real life." Sounds emotional, right? But 50 wasn't trying to hear none of that. He clapped back with a cold move. He posted the DM with the caption, "What next season?" Just like that, 50 shut down the entire BMF series. No warning, no mercy. Straight up digital execution. Then came the real nuke. 50 said he's taken the BMF story in a whole new direction by teaming up with Tammy CLOWNS for a full-blown documentary expose. And yeah, he's calling it out loud. He's ready to reveal the truth about Big Screech, his not-so-slick nickname for Big Meech. That announcement hit hard for both Meech and his son. With no more BMF checks, they're out here looking at an empty table. And we already saw what Lil Meech did with his last $5 million. Burned through it like it was Monopoly money. No investments, no fallback, nothing. And what about Big Meech? After spending all that time locked up on serious charges, what kind of gig is he really gonna land now? The only shot at holding on to their flashy lifestyle is if Lil Meech makes a serious comeback, either on screen or behind the mic. But after this explosive fallout with 50 Cent, that comeback's looking like a long shot. And here's where Rick Ross steps back in. Rick Ross, aka BMF Rose, clapped back quick, saying he was gonna drop his own BMF series, and it was gonna blow anything 50 Cent's G-Unit studio ever made out the water. Bold talk, right? But there's just one big problem. 50 Cent owns the rights to the BMF franchise. Sources told TMZ that Ross can't even touch a BMF project without getting 50's permission first. And let's be real, there's no way 50's ever given that green light, not in this lifetime. But the drama didn't slow down one bit. As soon as 50 made it clear he was done cutting checks to Big Meech's family, everything flipped. The loyalty? Gone. Big Meech and Lil Meech switched up fast, starting to hang with 50's known enemies like it was a game. Next thing you know, Lil Meech is out at the clubs chilling with Rick Ross and posting pics to make sure 50 sees them. It was pure trolling, like he wanted to rub it in 50's face that he'd picked a side. And then, they turned it all the way up. Big Meech and Lil Meech linked up with Floyd Mayweather, another heavyweight on 50 Cent's long list of rivals. Lil Meech even dropped a photo of them together with the caption, "Real Power." A direct jab at 50's hit show, Power! That wasn't just shade. That was a whole thunderstorm. He added another pic with the shush emoji, like he and Floyd had some secret play in motion. The message was loud. Lil Meech was riding with his dad and taking shots at 50 every chance he got. Wild part? This the same dude who was just in 50's DMs crying about Rick Ross and pledging loyalty like they was family. But that's what happens when you got too many voices in your ear. Switch-ups, fake love, and clout moves everywhere. It's like Big Meech and Lil Meech just forgot who really had their back when it mattered. 50 Cent was the one holding it down for their whole family while Meech was behind bars. But once Meech got out, loyalty flew out the window like it never existed. Even Boozy had something to say. He didn't like how Lil Meech was acting all passive, playing both sides. In a message he sent to 50, Boozy said if he were Lil Meech, there wouldn't be no confusion. He would have stood by his father no matter what. No hesitation. But then, 50 finally broke his silence and let loose. He let everybody know exactly why he felt betrayed when he saw Big Meech and Lil Meech hanging out with his enemies. He said, "I did more for Meech than anyone in his life, Boozy." That's why he said what he said. When he got locked up, I was the first one he called. I bailed him out. Every time. Then I see him laughing at posts dissing me and I'm like, nah, he a snake too. He belonged with them. That wasn't just emotion. 50 was speaking on real investment. He said he stepped in like a father figure for Lil Meech while Big Meech was locked down. Sent him to acting school, cleaned him up when he was going through it, and filled his pockets so he wouldn't have to touch the streets. But according to 50, everything shifted once Big Meech came home. That's when the bad advice started. While 50 was trying to guide Lil Meech, telling him to chill, save money, stay focused, Big Meech was hyping up reckless spending and throwback stories about the wildlife. 50 said, "I think he was uncomfortable with me and Meech's bond. I'm telling Meech to stop messing with drugs. He telling him it's cool because he used to do it too. I'm telling him to stop blowing cash. He out here bragging about how much money he wasted. And it gets deeper. 50 revealed that behind the scenes, he even had to send Lil Meech to rehab. He said actor Russell Hornsby saw it with his own eyes. Lil Meech showed up high as ever to set and ended up throwing up during a weapons test. This wasn't just about a show or some beef. This was real life. And 50 felt like he was watching someone he helped raise spiral right in front of him. Then Ian hit 50 with some wild info. Said Lil Meech had Whippet stashed in his truck. 50 was like, what the hell is a Whippet? He looked it up and boom. It's that stuff used in BB guns. But folks out here are getting lit off it. Total mess. After everything 50 did, to see them take all that for granted and then start throwing shade at him? Crazy behavior. But guess what? They ain't stopping. In fact, they just turned it up a notch. Rick Ross came back on his trolling wave, clowning 50 Cent again. This time saying he's broke and can't even finish building his new G-Unit studio. Ross claimed 50's credit is shot and no bank wants to mess with him. According to him, 50's stuck with no cash flow. And Ross didn't stop there. In another video, he straight up threatened to buy 50's masters just so 50 could finally have a few dollars in his pockets. Disrespect at max volume. Word is 50 was heated when he saw that post, furious. He started talking about dropping receipts to show the world who's really broke out here. And in classic 50 fashion, he laughed off the idea that Big Meech had any impact on his money. He basically said, y'all think this beef means something to my pockets? Please. Let's be honest. How much weight does Big Meech really carry these days? Yeah, he was that guy back in the day, no doubt. But this ain't 2005. It's 2025. The economy's a disaster. Folks are out here just trying to survive. Diddy's locked up. And everybody's more worried about rent than some ex-con chasing old fame. Nobody's checking for someone trying to act like a legend when the world's falling apart. Real talk, Meech might have had his time, but now, that spotlight's looking real dim. But just when folks thought the drama was starting to cool down, 50 Cent did what he always does. He flipped the script. Out of nowhere, he started teasing a new move that could change the whole game again. On his Instagram, 50 hinted at launching a true crime docuseries. Not just about Big Meech, but about everybody who ever crossed him. He said, y'all love stories, right? Cool. I got one for every snake that tried to bite the hand that fed him. Cold-blooded. Insiders say he's already got episodes lined up with interviews, paper trails, and exclusive footage that'll put multiple folks on blast, including Meech, Ross, and even a couple unexpected names from the rap world. Word is he's ready to burn bridges and build studios with the ashes. Meanwhile, Lil Meech has been dead silent. No new acting gigs, no music drops, and his social media been looking dry. Some fans think he's laying low, trying to ride the storm out. Others say he's waiting on Ross to throw him a lifeline. But so far, Rosie's too busy taking jabs at 50 and flexing like he's got it all figured out. And Big Meech? He's been quiet too, but sources say he's furious behind closed doors. He never expected 50 to flip on him so hard. And now with this docuseries in the works, there's real fear that some skeletons are about to come flying out the closet. The tension's thick, and the power dynamic has shifted. Once upon a time, 50 was the one handing out favors and changing lives. Now, he's turning into the final boss of this whole saga. One move away from ending careers and rewriting the entire BMF legacy. Looks like 50 Cent wasn't lying when he clowned Big Meech by calling him a wannabe Pablo Escobar. The idea that Meech is out here with so much pull that his little feud could actually mess with 50's bag? Come on now. That's straight up comedy. Let's keep it real. 50's gone toe-to-toe with way bigger names in the game, and not once did it put a dent in his account. From major labels to top-tier celebs, he's beefed with the who's who, and still came out richer every time. But of course, 50 being 50, he couldn't resist turning all this mess into a joke. He's been online trolling the whole situation, laughing off the broke rumors, and throwing slick shots like it's just another Tuesday. Still, it's got people talking. So let's ask the real questions. Is 50 Cent actually going broke? And if so, is it cause of this public beef storm? Or is Rick Ross just out here projecting, trying to distract from the fact that he's the one bleeding cash? Drop your take in the comments, cause this saga's got more twists than a soap opera. Then go ahead and hit that next video. Trust me, it gets even crazier.